The MP for Ofuasi Ayerebi, he has been mentioned as a potential running mate. I don't know to which candidate, and I'm not going to say it. Honorable Minister for Information, you're welcome.
I didn't know you had taken an interest in propaganda.
Sorry, say that again. You have been.
No, I'm saying I didn't know you've taken an interest in propaganda these days.
Oh, I have just heard things that I'm telling my audience.
You are beginning to like propaganda.
But have you heard it though? Have you heard it?
You are beginning to like propaganda.
But you make a fine vice president.
You are beginning to like propaganda.
No, you see.
Stick to journalism.
No, you see.
And leave propaganda to the politicians. I came here to answer the questions of a journalist.
Are you saying to me?
Not propaganda. So let's go.
Honorable Minister, this is not fair. You are attacking the integrity. You are attacking the media. This is not fair.
This is
a profession that you have served for 10 years.
This is what you do. You start mischief, and then when I push back, you say press freedom is under attack.
How has the program been for you from your perspective, organization?
I mean, I think that this program should not be looked at in isolation. This program is only the icing on the cake. We have been in a process of reorganizing from across 6,000 plus electoral areas all over the country, in each of which we have at least about 3 to 4 polling stations. And after all of these polling stations have voted, we have come to constituencies to vote and to the regional level to vote. That is a huge exercise across the country, and it's been heavily successful. There were a few instances where there was some violence, there were some disagreements, but all of those ones have been resolved. And if you look at that as a percentage of the tens of thousands of elections we have had, I think we can commend the NPP for doing a yeoman's job so far from the bottom all the way to this level. About 99% of the work has been done already. What we are left with doing here today is to elect the national leaders who will shepherd and complement the work of the real people who will be doing the campaign on the ground. The tens of thousands of polling station and coordinating executives and regional and constituency executives across the country. And our expectation is that the way it has started with a lot of camaraderie, it will end in similar fashion.
But time is not looking good. I mean, as far as 2 p.m., you are yet to start. Your delegates took forever to come. Is it traffic in the town or they couldn't buy petrol?
I cannot say why they have delayed. I've been calling my delegates, and they are telling me that they are just entering the Greater Accra region. But once they are safe...
I thought arrival was yesterday.
No, my delegates, for example, are just entering from Tutu in the eastern region. And once they are safe, I'm happy that they are safe. We're expecting that they will all come in, and then we can start the program. The Chief of Staff was here very early in the morning. The President has been waiting in his waiting lobby, but we've been trying to shepherd all the delegates to come in so that we can start. And I think that it's understandable on an electoral scale like this, that a lot of candidates are still also trying to talk to the delegates and sometimes hold them back before they come in. We're hopeful that, though belated, we'll get the exercise underway shortly.
Now, the key agenda will be the election, but there are other things that will precede the election. Walk us through what we should expect.
The President will speak. I think former President Kufuor will speak. The Vice President will speak. There will also be the regular conference speeches, the report of the General Secretary, the report of the Treasurer, I think. Chairman is the chair of conference. So chairman has to call conference to order. This is a conference, this is the annual delegates conference of the party, and one of the agenda items is the election. But the normal conference itinerary of these reports will be tabled, and then you have motions moved for the acceptance of all of these reports. We'll take a break before part 2, where the elections come in.
The election will happen. Winners will be declared. There will be people who will lose. How do you deal with things like that, where there is a divided camp? People whose candidates lose may sometimes decide to just be nonchalant. They don't care. They just
I think that anybody who purports to be a politician or the supporter, the inner working supporter of a candidate who says because his candidate did not win, he has therefore crossed carpet or abandoned the party or become lethargic, is not a politician or a candidate worth his or her salt.
But there are people like that. How do you deal with them?
He is not a candidate or a politician worth his... You must understand that in an election, only one person will win. In an election where 10 people are vying for office, 9 will not win, 1 will win. And so going into it, you must be constantly assessing your chances, and you must be clear in your mind that if you do not win, you will still support the ship. For the party, we are clear in our mind that after the election, the necessary work to reconcile has to immediately begin. But you can't force people into a reconciliation. You do your best to reconcile, but you can't force people into a reconciliation. We will need to also bank on the expectation that all candidates and their supporters will hold on to the pledge that they made to the new patriotic party. The first duty of a party member is to uphold the decisions of the party and to support the party's decisions. So you can't be a party member and say, because my candidate didn't win, I've crossed carpet or I've left or I won't participate. That's a no-no. But we will do what we have to do to ensure that the reconciliation commences right from Sunday morning when we go to Osu for the Thanksgiving service.
You will speak for the government. The government is a baby of the party.
And
the party says...
And I speak for the party from the Ofonsia Yebi constituency.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't...
And I speak for the party from the Ofonsia Yebi constituency as well.
Okay, do the people of Ofonsia have a candidate?
Parliament.
Who are they?
I am a member of
for?
parliament for you. I mean, you are always interested in taking that one away from me.
No,
but it's what brought me here.
Who are you going to vote for?
The people of Ofonsia Yebi,
yes,
have instructed delegates.
Wow, instructed, okay.
Yes, have instructed delegates
that
on who we believe will best complement the work that our executives at the grassroots are going to put out.
Who is that?
Well, the Electoral Commission rules are clear that it is a secret ballot. I'm not sure you're encouraging me to break those rules.
I don't mind. Feel free to break the rules here.
I am a law-abiding citizen.
You're a lawmaker. You're not going to break the law.
I am a law-abiding citizen.
And a lawmaker. So I was going to ask you that in breaking the 8, which kind of executives do you need to help you break the 8?
We need executives that are willing to join government in admitting that there are hardships, not of our making, but which have come upon us because of the global situation, but government needs to respond. We need executives who are not walking around saying, oh, that BBI is fine. You know, we are breaking the 8. I assure you everything is fine. No. We need executives that are clear in their minds that there are difficulties that are not our making, but which we must respond to. We also need executives that are willing to complement the work of the people who will be going house to house, door to door, bedroom to bedroom, down at the grassroots level.
No, withdraw the bedroom. Withdraw the bedroom. Withdraw the bedroom. Leave it at the chamber and hall. Don't go to the bedroom.
Very well. But people who are willing to join us on the ground to do the work. I have over 100 polling stations. I have 25 electoral areas. We're going to be knocking on doors, talking to people, explaining to people why we have not been able to do some things, why we have been able to do some things very well. We need an executive that is willing to work with us on the ground to achieve that as well.
So you want executives who will be, they'll make concession statements and say that, listen, Yafo, and say we accept that we have, but we'll do better. It should have started from the president. Were you speaking
to you earlier?
Sorry, I'm saying that the president should have been the first to make that.
Hold on. You said we want executives. Who said what?
Who admit that we have failed?
But I haven't said we have failed.
You are saying they should admit that things are not good.
I have said, and please don't quote me out of context or change my words and write a headline different from what I've said.
No problem.
I have said that we need executives who are willing to admit that there are challenges not of our making,
no problem,
but which government has to respond to.
That's fine.
I don't know how that becomes equal to we have failed.
So why hasn't
I take exception to some of those attempts to change words that we have uttered, because when we change those and publish those, it creates a wrong impression out there in the minds of consumers.
So no problem. You want executives who make admissions that there are challenges which are not of your making.
But we have to respond to.
But you have to respond
to. Now I can applaud you.
Why hasn't the president, who is leading the charge, made that admission to the Ghanaian citizenry?
He has.
It was a statement from you.
No, the president at the Jubilee House, when he met and swore in the delegates, took time to make a very clear statement that there are challenges not of our making, and we have to respond to them. And part of the things we need to respond to is to get external help through platforms like the International Monetary Fund, and that he was optimistic that it will be helpful. I'm sure you had a reporter at the
Should that
Jubilee
not
House.
come with an apology?
No, hold on. I'm sure you had a reporter at the Jubilee House.
It's fine. Don't worry about what I know. But should that not have come with an apology?
Well, I think the president has stated the facts very clearly. If anybody now wants to spin out of that he should have added this to this or added that to that, that person is allowed to spin. But the president has said what was most important for him to say, and we move.
Very well. Thank you so much, Honourable Minister. I just want to make a quick announcement.
But I wanted to talk some more to you. I'm enjoying the conversation.
I'll come back to you. Don't go away. This is Citi TV, Citi FM. You're having your shot there. The Vice President, Dr. Amadu, who is arriving at Congress, a very critical member of the New Patriotic Party. I was already explaining before we came here what he did for the party when he was in opposition. Recall his lectures, recall his jabbings of the economy at the time, and he there arriving at Congress, receiving the cheers and the applause from party members. Of course, it has already stated, like what said, that he is not necessarily declared his interest to run, but it is a public knowledge that he's one of the people who many party supporters are expecting to run as flag bearer of the NPP when we get to it. The Honourable Minister for Information, the Vice President, he chairs the Economic Management Team. Under his watch, you have jabbed the Mahama government. You have attacked the Mahama government under Dr. Bawumia's watch. You have told us that you have the men. I recall a tape of the Vice President saying that there's no way a global phenomenon would skip Ivory Coast and come and attack Ghana. Today you are saying the problem is a global phenomenon. What happened to Abidjan? How come they have not gone to IMF and we are?
You are not, I'm not sure you are telling me that the global phenomena has not affected Ivory Coast. Is that what you are telling me?
Are they at the IMF?
No. Are you telling me that the global phenomena has not affected?
On the face of it?
No. Are you telling me that the global phenomena has not affected Ivory Coast?
If it had, so
no, you are a journalist. You must first lead with facts. Tell your audience. Are you telling your audience that the global phenomena has not affected Ivory Coast?
I am saying that based on the history of the statements you have made, where Ghana went to IMF in 2015, and the Mahama government said it was due to a global phenomenon, and you said that a global phenomenon that affected only Ghana and not Ivory Coast cannot be said to be a global phenomenon. The same factors are there. Ghana, Ivory Coast, IMF. We have gone to IMF with the excuse that it's a global phenomenon.
You know for a fact.
Ivory Coast has not.
You know for a fact, Sanda, that the global phenomena that has hit Ghana has hit every other country around us. Some have been hit in different levels based on their buffers that they have, based on the currencies that they use, based on the relationship, but everybody has been hit. In fact, I'm sure you have seen the statement that the International Monetary Fund released when they left Ghana.
Yes.
I don't need to say it. And in their statement, they are clear about what has affected Ghana the most. So this comparison that you seek to make, with the greatest of respect, is a false comparison.
What happened?
Because it remains undisputed that the global phenomenon has hit Ghana, has hit the UK, has hit America, has hit Nigeria, has hit South Africa, has hit Ivory Coast, has hit every country around the world. That's an undisputed fact.
Why? It's curious that it has skipped Ivory Coast. That's still I want you to explain to me. Because if in 2015 it skipped Ivory Coast,
I'm asking you,
is it that Ivory Coast has more competent leaders than we do?
I am asking you to tell your audience that you are actually telling them that it has skipped Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast has not gone to the IMF. That's the question. Let me come back to the Minister for Information. Minister for Information.
Can you hear me?
I am saying to you that there is a global economic crisis.
Yeah.
You have mentioned a number of countries it has affected.
Yes.
You have skipped Ivory Coast, which is our neighbor to
I
the
have not
west.
skipped.
One second. No. Let me make my question.
No, but what you're saying is
let
not
me
a
ask
matter
my
of
question.
fact.
You
I
can
mentioned
answer.
Ivory Coast.
No, let me ask my question. Then
No,
you can
but
answer.
don't tell the public an untruth. I mentioned Ivory Coast.
Can I ask my question?
No, I mentioned Ivory Coast, so don't tell them an untruth.
Can I ask my question?
Go ahead, you can ask your question.
My question is, why is Ivory Coast not at the IMF and Ghana is? Simple.
Okay. Let me take you back to your original question, which you are seeking to change. You brought in the vice president, said that the vice president had said that a global crisis cannot skip everybody else and hit Ghana only.
Yes.
And then you sought to suggest that in this current instance, the global crisis has not hit Ivory Coast. And I'm saying to you...
That's not what I said.
No, that's what you did.
No,
that's what you did.
You cannot define my...
tape right
no,
here.
you cannot define my questions for me.
No, I'm not defining your question. I also heard you loud and clear.
Minister.
We can play your tape.
Minister.
You and I are very good friends. You and I are very good friends. You will play this game with me.
Minister.
You sought to suggest that the global crisis has not affected Ivory Coast.
Yes.
And I'm telling you that
the Vice President was speaking in context. The Vice President...
When you say a global crisis,
the Vice President,
it means it has hit countries around the globe. Second, I've listed to you a number of countries, including Ivory Coast, affected by the global crisis.
Except that they didn't go to IMF.
And I'm saying to
over
you
this global
that
crisis.
Do you want to tell your audience that Ivory Coast was not hit by the global crisis? Is that what you are telling?
Let me tell my audience.
Tell them.
My audience, Ivory Coast has not gone to IMF. Ghana has gone to IMF. We share borders. We have cocoa. They have cocoa. In 2015, Dr. Baumia said the global crisis that skips Ivory Coast and comes to Ghana is not a global crisis. In 2022, there is a global crisis, admittedly. It skipped Ivory Coast again, just here. Came to Ghana, we are IMF.
I mean, I am a bit disappointed that you are seeking to tell your audience that the global crisis has not hit Ivory Coast. That is not a matter of fact.
I am saying, on the face of it.
You have just said it.
On the face
that the
of
global
it.
crisis did not hit Ivory Coast.
If you have been hit...
That is not true. That's not true. You're a journalist. You have to tell the public the truth. That the global crisis has affected Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin, South Africa. Literally, every country in the world is feeling the pinch. I also said to you that they are feeling the pinch in different measure for various reasons. There are countries, for example, that use a currency that is backstopped by another currency. So you will find out that the impact on them is different. There are countries, for example, that subsidize fuel. And so you find out that no matter the movement of fuel from $74 to $130-something, it will not necessarily have a pass-through effect on the fuel pricing in those countries.
Okay.
So I think that we should stick with the facts, tell the people the facts, and then we can have a debate about other things on the side.
When the COVID struck, we were told that people with underlying health conditions were the most vulnerable. When COVID hit, and Ukraine hit, economies with underlying challenges are the ones that have been hit the most. Ghana has an underlying health condition or economic condition. That is why Ghana went to IMF. Ivory Coast had no underlying health condition or economic condition. So Ivory Coast has not gone to IMF. Is that a fair assessment?
That is a very fair assessment.
End of story.
No, that's not the end of story.
Okay.
That's a very fair assessment. So now you realize that where you were just dovetailing into the propaganda repeated by the NDC. What you have asked now is a very fair question.
Okay.
Ghana's economy has had some challenges. The last time I was in the studio with Bernard, I said that despite those challenges, the economy performed better in 2017, 2018, 2019 than it had been doing previously. In 2020, when COVID hit, and many economies were going into recession, the Ghanaian economy, despite its challenges, still performed better than many other economies.
Okay.
In 2021, that same economy, with some of the challenges therein, did a 5.4% growth, kept inflation low. In 2022, when the global crisis number 2 hit, and many economies were being affected, Ghana has been hit too. That's a fair assessment.
That's fine. And this economy has gone to IMF. Thank you so much. Honorable Minister, I'll come back to you.
But that is not news. I myself issued a statement. So that's not news.
I know. It is not news, but it's a key concession. Let's leave it. I'll come back. I'll invite you again for a debate. I'll invite you again for I have to go to the stadium. Your boss is on TV. I have to introduce him. This is Citi TV. This is Citi FM. That's the Minister for Information, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, I was talking with.